Today is a quite special day today. I don't think you know how special it is. Hello and welcome back to Lights Productions. Here we are back in my little workspace. As you can see, there's no engine here at the moment. That's because the engine we are checking out today is quite special. Here in Lighty Productions, we checked all sorts of engines. The miniature traction engine I have, to the full-size steam engine I volunteer on. Steam engines now, not just steam engine, because 86 is back in service. Well done, gentlemen. You guys did a fine job. But that's not the topic of today's video, or at least it kinda is. Steam engines aren't cheap. The smaller they are, generally how more expensive they are. But the general range for an engine like we're checking out today is around 1,500 to 2,000 rand. Not cheap. I got one for 300 rand. That is almost nothing compared to the engines that I got over the years. What is this mystery engine? It is quite a mystery indeed, because I don't know what it is. Here it is. It is a pot boiler and a wobbler engine with what appears to be a regulator. That is most exciting. But do you see the issue? Note how the boiler is doing that. Oh dear. I don't know what to make of that. However, I will fix it. How did this happen? 2 words. Actually, 3. No bubble wrap. This was shipped to me in a Woolies bag. So, whoops. However, it is such a cheap engine. I am quite upset, but it's 300 bucks. It's barely anything for an engine like this. If you have information about this engine, please do say in the comments. I'm quite curious. However, we are not here to rant about little mistakes that people have made, thus devaluing this engine. No, we are here to fix it, because I do not trust this thing in its current state. So, let's get to dismantling. Okay, first thing that I'm going to do is take out all the boiler plugs and stuff and just kind of see what thread size they are. Hopefully they're M5 or M6. That thing's bad. Is that thing spinning? Okay, this is quite interesting. That is moisture. I'm curious to know how old this water is. Hold on. If there is water in this thing, we are putting that in that jar. Why? No reason. I'm just bored. I'm gonna replace these for hex screws, because yeah. So I'm not being very nice. I don't think that thing's gonna come out. I might have to get the blowtorch. Before you cry at me for doing this, I'm gonna have to dismantle the boiler anyway, because I need to fix that dent. Oh, that was a fiber washer. That thing's bought by tight. There's probably some ridiculous amount of scale on there. You know what? I'm gonna replace the screws anyway. So let me get the big doll. Sorry, boy. Oh my, that's not. Okay, we're gonna have to come back to this. Let's see if this, what I assume is a safety valve, will come out. Okay, take 1. Ah. Okay, it would appear this is a safety valve that is not fit for service. Where's the spring? Probably down there somewhere. When moving this thing around, I hear a rattle. Okay, So, we have those things off. We'll come back to that. Now what? Check the bottom. Yes. Let me undo those. Ew. That's rank. I think that is the most flavored water that I've gotten out of an engine. That is awesome. And it would appear that this water is very flaky as well. That is awesome. That is going on my display case as the rankest thing that I've found in a boiler thus far. COVID-20 is probably in this. This is going on display case. It's gonna be rich. Okay. Now the engine, well, the piston and the boiler can be removed. Very gently. Oh, okay. Now I know my answer. Me and Mr. David White were actually discussing whether this engine has a main steam or not. And it does. It just goes through the bottom of the boiler. Okay, so this screws on. This certainly has a very interesting construction. If you know, like I said so many times, if you know what engine this is, please do let me know. I'm very curious. Did I score, or either way I did? Okay, so that we don't crush this, we are just going to put this here for now. Let's focus our attention to the engine. Well, first things first. That is a very interesting piston. Very dry. Very dry indeed. Well, this thing's being used. I just realized I didn't tell the actual story. Just gonna oil this up for now. We'll get to this bit later. The story is, this was in a science class at a school. So this was probably run without oil many times. That spring is incredibly stiff. I'm not very comfortable with that. Other than that, I have no idea what this thing's history is. But certainly an interesting thing. And you are witnessing history at the moment. Okay, after I wipe off my hands, then we come to this, the bomb, basically. So it's very evident this thing comes off like that. Yeah, so the things you can buy on Facebook. This is a Facebook Marketplace find. Yes, cringe for my use of pliers. It's a cheap engine, so there's not much respect. I'm going to clean up this thing, attempt to get it to working order. I'm a bit concerned about the boiler, honestly. I feel like this is a scrap situation. Okay, so first things first, it sounds like a Christmas bell. But that's no issue. I'm first going to clean this up. I'm just taking some paraffin. Not paraffin, what's it called? Methylated spirits. Just so I don't get my hands too dirty every single time I touch this damn boiler. Oh no. That is interesting. That is... oh dear. Okay. This project certainly took a turn. Now, normally, assuming this is made of this is soldered together with soft solder. Usually you want to keep the joints as far away from the fires as possible unless you have a very high temperature solder. There is a company that used to make boilers out of sheet metal, or sheet brass, and they soldered them, but they tended, well, there is a few pictures online on Facebook where they exploded. Do you see that? That seam. That is interesting. We're gonna ignore that. The reason why I'm concerned about this now, my original plan was to take this cap off, undent that, take out whatever is inside, and solder it back on. Since this is here, I can't really do that. I could try, just slowly and surely take this bit off. Okay, but before we get there, let's take off this plug. I don't know what to do about that. Either way, I have to heat up this area. I think, what size is this? Unless I can get a piece of pipe that's roughly the same diameter. When I get that pipe, I might replace this boiler. But for now, let's just see if we can get this end off. We'll do that next video. Let's just shift our concentration to this doohickey, the anti-exploding device. I might have to quench this. Interesting, very interesting. Nah, that wasn't necessarily. I just chucked the thing into a vise and pressed it off. Still needs cleaning up. Gonna chuck that into some vinegar. This project really isn't going the way that I expected. This is most exciting because usually it's just I just take everything apart. Yes, everything looks nice, and put everything back. Now this is yes, take it apart, see the problem, try and evaluate the problem, see the reason why I can't use that solution. So much like reels, like full-size stuff. Okay, I'm in a bit of a dilemma. I'm annoyed. This could have been prevented. I'm trying not to be mad, but it is annoying. Well, good news and bad news. Actually two good news is the cap is off. The other good news is it's silver soldered. There's the rest of the safety. Off to the horde with you. Okay, we are now inside the boiler. The pipe here is the main steam, and there is a big chunk of scale back there. I'm going to crop all the scale out just to get a fresh start. This thing's silver soldered, and that is quite shocking to me. A kind of a relief. I'm probably just going to soft solder this back on. This thing isn't directly on the flame, so it should be fine. It's such a small boiler, it really doesn't matter. What else? Here is the rest of the safety. I could maybe soft solder that back on, but I don't know what this is. Looks like a bushing of some kind. Okay, it's not perfect, but it is a lot better. And I'm not going to get it much better than that with the stuff that I have. I'm going to hydro test this because I need to resolder this cap on. Interesting story. Getting that cap on was a bastard, as the metal warped as I pulled that out, thus causing an egg shape. so I had to reshape it slightly. So yeah, I'm just going to soft solder that on. It's not directly on the flame, so it should be okay. After a while, I resoldered the thingy. Most exciting. Now, all people, please don't tune me. I'm not that good at soldering, but I am good enough that I could do this. I did do a breath test, and it is borpud, that thing is borpud. I'm still going to do a hydro test to, I think, 5 bar, just to make sure everything is okay. I assume this thing's working pressure is 1.5 bar. Might take it lower to like 1 bar, because I don't trust this thing. Until I get a new boiler, I'll stick to 1 bar, thank you. Okay, the next thing in the line, the steam chest. It's just a case of cleaning it up and just getting everything sorted. And then with the base here, I need to take off the crankshaft and all that stuff, straighten that out. And then once I did the hydro on this, oh wait, I just remembered the safety valve is knackered. The safety valve, I'm not sure what I'm going to do about. It's supposed to be a thingy here. If the rest of the rod is brass, I might be able to soft solder it together, and then I have a safety valve that I can adjust. But let's do that. Well, we're not going to do that now. We're first going to do all this stuff, and this project really isn't going according to plan. However, I at least have a little bit more experience restoring this thing. I'm using the word restore very roughly. I'm patching it up so it at least sort of runs. Okay, now the steam chests. Okay. Now we're gonna face the steam chest. First things first, piston. Very interesting piston, has a nipple at the end. Like to see that. We're gonna put that there. Take off this. Now, springs are supposed to go outward once tension is released. I think that washers... What the hell? I am so confused, and it just pops out. Watch. You know what they say, if it doesn't want to go, force it. Ow, that's very sharp. Oh, there we go. Okay. Should just slide out. Dusty. Let's actually check the wear. Where's the wear? Yeah, it doesn't feel too bad. Interesting. Very interesting. This is the regulator, I see. That is very cool. Ah, no! Don't do that! Okay, gonna clean this up. Give me a few seconds. Okay, the parts are cleaned by means of a hose pipe. So I suppose we can start reassembling, just roughly for the time being. So I'm going to look at some of the parts as well. This is the regulator. It's actually quite smart. It uses the exhaust to regulate the amount of steam going out, which is quite interesting, yet quite genius. Looking at the wear, always do a pop test. Maybe it needs some oil. It's not like the Mammoth. Nah, it's quite worn. Oh well, it is what it is. Okay, now how the hell am I gonna put this together? Let's go in here. goes in there. One washer. I'm just temporarily putting everything back together so I don't lose anything. What I intend to do is, before I repaint everything, because that's also on the list, I am gonna do a test on Steam, make sure everything works, take it apart, and yeah, this thing will go on. I'm not happy with this spring. It is incredibly tight. Okay, that thing's bullputt. Okay. Now the safety. Not sure what that is on the end there. Just grind it off, I think. Because it needs to come apart anyway. I need to clean this thing up. And I need to solder that other thing on. Well, I messed up. So, whatever this grade of brass was, just died. Oopsie. Trying to get that nut off. That's used to adjust the safety valve tension, but looks like we're not going to be using that. Exciting. Now what? Could try and make a lever mechanism. I could just get a new one made like this. Yeah, I think that's the best option. Okay, now what? Okay, so this project didn't really go according to plan. Due to no packing material, the boiler was damaged. However, I believe I did fix it, good enough for now at least. But I am happy that I got this far with this project. I genuinely thought I'm gonna have to scrap this boiler. Again, if you have any information about this engine, what brand it was, what type of engine it was, like listed, like the D45 and a D415, what was its number and stuff. Yeah, I'm happy I got to this point. All it is now is just get the safety valve ready, do a hydro, and then put it back on, test the engine, and then yeah, then it's repaint and polish time. So yeah, this project is very interesting, like I said. But yeah, I do hope that you found this video interesting. I found it very interesting to do, honestly. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video or found it interesting, please consider subscribing. I've a couple of videos that are like this, such as the Mamod, and there was something else I think. But yeah, stay tuned folks.